Matt from Massey Trains here again. Welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody's doing well. Today, we have a very special review that I've been looking to do for a very long time, and we finally have that opportunity. Today, we're checking out the beautiful, absolutely gorgeous K-Line 466T. This is as I said before, a fantastic model. This is probably the most unique locomotive that I think that's ever been made in three-rail O-gauge, as far as steam engines go. And this is just an awesome engine, jam-packed with features for a tooling that's more than 10 or 15 years old. It's really cool to see these. You don't see them often, and not a lot of people talk about them, so let's check it out. Okay, so let's get the question out of the way. What the heck is a 466T? So the 466T is a 466T. So this is a tank. This is not a tender. This is a part of the locomotive itself. This is a very different locomotive, as you can see. It's more or less a baby Hudson, or a Hudson locomotive completely cut in half and modified. So they made these in order to, be used on mostly commuter service. These were classified as suburban tanks. So you would have seen these mostly in suburban areas, or in this case, this engine has a small tank, so it didn't really travel all that far. At most, this thing would go within suburban towns or areas along a main line. It would be on a branch line and places like that where it's easily accessible and for its size, where a normal big tender engine would preferably need to operate on a mainline scenario. So that's what these are for. They're for short line service and to go at semi-high speeds. These are just really different. You also would have seen these probably in some rail yards doing switching. So they wouldn't have to turn the engines around. So this is a Boston and Albany type of prototype. This mainly was used by them and then later purchased by the New York Central, who bought the Boston and Albany. The engine was also used on various other railroads, such as the C&J, as you see here. And yeah, this is just a very different locomotive. Now, the second question, why the heck did I even buy this? This is probably one of the most rare locomotives that just really catches my eye, and that's something that I think a lot of people would agree on. The whole engine, just look at it. It is so eye-catching and weird that you can't help but just like it. It is definitely, not a quote-unquote the prettiest engine ever made, but certainly it's a very unique piece. And I decided, as a Long Island native, why did I pick C&J? It's very simple. I have a lot of family in New Jersey, and I just travel there a lot. I go to Atlantic City sometimes during the summer, and I just have a small connection, a small place in my heart for them. Plus, it's different, and not a whole lot of people model C&J in O-scale. So I like to, anytime a scale C&J steam engine is available, I try to pick one up. Hence why you guys know me for having the Blue Comet on Instagram, which I might do a video on that again at some point in the future. We'll see. But going back to that, yeah, just a lot of family ties, and it's just a really awesome railroad that definitely struck my interest over the last couple of years. But anyway, let's get a closer look at the actual model itself. So this is going to be an abbreviated overview of this engine because a lot of other people have reviewed this engine in the past, but this is just my little highlighted areas of this engine, if you will, that I want to showcase to you guys. The main thing I love actually is the bell placement. I love how the bell is actually right up front on the boiler here. That's very different. Not a whole lot of steam engines have that, which is really cool. I also love the marker lights that are on the top. They look really great. You have an opening smoke box door, which is really cool to see that. You have the lighted number boards on the side of the headlight, which is really cool. You have an eligible builder's plate on the side, which is always nice to see. And as you can see, just on the side of the engine here, you have just all this wonderful separately applied detailing. Like, nothing on this engine is molded in, which is honestly very impressive. All the piping and valves and handrails and so forth on this engine is just really sharp and really awesome to see that. You have to separately added dynamo here, which is really cool to see. We're going to check out a little more on the side of the engine and just give you guys an overall profile of this engine in just a minute. But yeah, very cool to see all this detail nonetheless. So taking a look here at the side of the locomotive again, as you can see, just the overall profile of this engine is very different and unique to any other steam engine that exists, which I absolutely love it. I love the running gear that's on this. Again, the separately fitted handrails and piping and detailing looks phenomenal on this. And something else to note, this is an all die-cast locomotive. There's nothing plastic on this engine. Strictly all die-cast, which is amazing. Great weight to this engine, so this thing could pull a ton, which is really nice as far as performance goes. You have a separately applied whistle here on the top, which is really great. The cab hatches on the top of the roof actually open, which is really nice to see that as well. So we come to the rear of the locomotive here, and as you can see, just look around. So much going on the back of this tender, or back of this tank, is really awesome. You have the separately applied backup light here, separately applied step ladder, which is awesome, another Cutler Cup bar. You have a cow catcher on the bottom, which is really nice, and all this really awesome riveted detail, which is really cool. And then you have the coal bunker on the top with handrails on it. Just so much is happening on this engine. It's just really awesome just to look at and appreciate all the detail that K-Line really put into this. Very clever. They actually made the coal bunker piece removable. So, and this is all die-cast again. But as you can see, it reveals all the controls, the cruise control, the rail sound, smoke, all that stuff. So very nice touch by them as well. And it's extremely well hidden. You wouldn't even know. You would think it's just a molded on piece to the overall chassis of this engine. But really cool to see that nonetheless. Alright folks, so that's going to wrap up the review portion of this video. Next we're going to fire up the engine and let you guys see it run around my club's layout for a couple minutes behind my recently acquired C&J passenger cars. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for watching and take care.